Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog.stampwithelaine.com. Today we're going to be making this card with the birthday dies, which are a coordination product release, and it goes with this Sale-a-bration set, which you can earn free at level 1 with a £45 qualifying order. The card base in purple posy at 5 7/8 inches by 8 1/4. It's basically half an A4 sheet, and in metric that measures 14.85 by 21 centimeters and fold it in half. You need a purple posy piece and a whisper white piece, both cut at 5 1/2 by 3 3/4 inches. In metric that's 14 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters. One's to go on top of the card and the others to go inside. You also need a scrap of purple posy so that you can stamp and die cut the flowers, and a strip of vellum cardstock that is about 1 inch, which you can trim down to size to put on the front of your card as a greeting. Versa mark, an embossing buddy, and white embossing powder, and a heat tool. The other ink I'm using is Highland Heather, Whisper White craft ink, and an aqua painter. Highland Heather re-inker and the Garden Green re-inkers. Parisian Flourish 3D embossing folder. Noble Peacock rhinestones. First I'm going to run my 5 1/2 by 3 3/4 inch purple posy piece through the embossing folder. So I shall try and center that on here, and then use the blue embossing plate with the basic platform, because this is the new style embossing folder. So I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. I'm going to set that aside, take my scrap piece of purple posy and rub it all over with the embossing buddy. I'm going to use my Stamparatus for this, because with Versamarker ink you can't see where you're stamping. If I use the Stamparatus, then I know I'm accurate. Let's ink that up and stamp. And do it again. I actually need 2, but I'm going to emboss that first and then come back and emboss the other. Since I've got the embossing powder out, I'm going to emboss the sentiment as well. So now bring in the dies, and I'm going to cut the flowers off one of these embossed ones and the cake stand together with the flowers on the other. So I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. So there are my die cut pieces. I'm going to set those aside and stamp the inside of the card first. So Highland Heather, and stamp the happy birthday sentiment. And because the word is so long, I'm just going to stamp it on a slant. Then there's this little speckly stamp, which I'll stamp off to decorate the inside. So I'll glue this to the inside of the card so I don't lose it. I spent half my time looking for things. And I'll glue this bit as well, the embossed bit. To the front of the card. Then I'm going to take my craft ink and pick up some white craft ink on both my blocks so I don't contaminate it. Bring in my ink. I'm just going to put a drop of garden green on one block and a drop of Highland heather in another. And I think I'll sit down for this because it's back breaking if I stand up. The table's not at the right height. Aqua painter, I've put the silicone mat underneath to protect my work surface. I'm going to sit down and paint, so it'll probably go all silent and I'll fast forward it. I've washed my brush by squeezing water to dissipate the other colour. Now I'm going to use the garden green to colour the leaves. What a talk! I've coloured the wrong ones. It should be this one. So I'll do that off camera. But that's the gist of it. That's how you should do it. Paint it. Sorry. So I've coloured in the proper one. What a prize plonker. Oh dear. After having been so careful as well. So then carefully lay it over the other piece, like so. More dimensionals. I'm just going to trim that down a little bit because it's too wide. And I love my mini trimmer, and the only way you can get hold of it is by joining as a new demonstrator. So I'm just going to cut that into a V shape, then cut that into a fishtail on the other side. And run some adhesive on the back and tuck that in. And last thing to do is use the noble rhinestones to put in the centre of the flower. And there's the card completed. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and pop back for more inspiration next time. The links to the supplies are below this video in the Show More section. You can also find me on Pinterest, Instagram or Facebook. Thanks for watching. Bye!